Collins leading the pep rally up here. We're going to take a moment right now to welcome to the stage Professor Tim Workman, who is going to do a solo performance for us to kick the event off. So I'll step aside and please give a round of applause to Tim.
Impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to give when there's no more to give, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
That was amazing. I didn't know we had that kind of performing talent here. That's great. So our theme today, and really our theme forevermore, thank you. You are welcome. Do I have a mic? There we go. Envisioning one college. And somebody's texting me. I have this on me for a reason. I'm going to take our picture in just a minute. But before I do that, let me see who's here first. Who's here from, let's see, North Campus. North Campus, shout out if you're here. Oh, they set the bar high. Barbara Darby has them trained really well. All right, see, I knew I'd be safe opening with all right, let's see. Who's here from Kent Campus? Kent Campus. Oh, it's close, it's close. All right, downtown, where you at? That's awesome. All right. This might be the smallest group that's here, but maybe the loudest. AO and URC, where are you at? All right, and who have I forgot? Oh, Deerwood at Open Campus, where are you at? Or Open Campus at Deerwood Center. Yeah. I'm confused. And last but not least, my people, where are you at, South Campus? Can we do a redo on South Campus? All right, so our theme today is one college, and though we are 5 campuses, our mission moving forward is to be together as one college and collaborate, do things together, help each other out, make this ultimately the best place it can be. Reach our full potential and beyond. Now that sounds so lofty, right? But what I want to do here real quick to get y'all buying into this one college idea, let me take a selfie. Let me say that again. Let me take a selfie. Y'all ready? So what we're going to do first, so I'm going to have this side of the room, where are you? Let me know. Some noise. Do y'all know how to raise your arms? Okay. This side of the room, make some noise. Let me hear you. Okay. So your task to kick things off this morning, little audience participation, is I want you to hold up one finger and say one college. And when I turn around and I hold my camera up to take a selfie, you're going to hold your fingers up and say one college. And we're going to see which side does it better. Am I making the right, this finger? And you know what? In the spirit of celebration, we have a hashtag for today, #OneCollege. So I'm gonna tweet this out later, or the college is gonna tweet it out. So I don't know which side of the room is gonna represent the best. Please, one college, right? Okay, so I'm gonna turn around. Everybody ready? We're gonna get the stage too. Leaders, get ready. All right, hold up your fingers. Let's say one college, this side of the room. Let's do it again. All right. Can y'all do better? Oh, I think so. Okay, ready? Here we go. Hold up your fingers. One college. Let's do that again. Ready? What? There we go. Y'all ready? We're going to have a lot of... Here we go. They're uncomfortable. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One college. One college. There we go. All right. We did it. Trying to make it just the right amount of cheesiness this morning. Keep it light. Notice there's an old school desk in front of me. And that's actually my personal school desk. I did not use it as a child. I bought it at a garage sale about 7 years ago. And I bought it because as an educator, it was just so simple and perfect in its form, and it reminded me of what I do, what I'm passionate about. Any historian or archaeology or anthropology professors in the house right now? I'd like you to come date this for me, because I'm not really sure what the date is, but thank you, Brad. But part of why I brought it here today is because even though the face of education has changed in the 90 to 100 years since this was built, probably by hand, the people who built this had no idea that we would be teaching students on a computer, much less what a computer was, that they'd be using these little things to take tests on Blackboard. No, we tell our students not to do that, actually. They had no idea what education would look like today. But the thing that remains consistent between when this was manufactured and when students actually sat at this desk and learned is that we're here to reach an individual human being, to expand their mind, to brighten the world, to give them new opportunities. Education was a new enterprise back in the day. And it's still an enterprise with challenges. But there are many people involved with this desk and what happened at this desk, just as there are many people involved right now. Right now. Somebody picked the site for the schoolhouse. This was I'm thinking one-room schoolhouse here. Somebody picked the site, somebody built the building, somebody recruited that teacher from the county seat out to the country to teach little children. Somebody built the desk. And of course, the teacher and the student interfaced in the classroom. Everyone here, everyone in this room, as part of this college, contributes something important, something vital to make this human experience what it needs to be. Whether that's at a desk in a classroom, virtually, getting advised by a student advisor, having a bright, clean campus, We all have an important role to play. And so I ask you to keep that with you this whole morning as you move through today's events. Keep that vision of what the passion and the core of what we do, what it's about, no matter what your role is at the college. It all comes back to the human experience, and we do it best as one college. So now, let me get off the stage for a minute, and I'd like to introduce to you our 5th president, Dr. Cynthia Biotto. And please, this is her first convocation with us at Florida State College at Jacksonville. Let's give her the appropriate warm welcome she deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, you don't want to be doing that because you'll get me emotional. I thank you for that, but I don't want to start crying as we first begin our conversation. And I will tell you, I am so filled with emotion at the electricity that I felt through our breakfast together and through seeing and watching and talking with each of you streaming in to our one college convocation. My first as part of your family, but I now think of it as our family of Florida State College at Jacksonville. And I could not be more thrilled to be a part of this magnificent institution of higher ed. Thank you for allowing me to join you. Thank you to all of you with the many, many years of service that are allowing me to stand on your shoulders. You have brought this college to a point where it is as important today as it has ever been. And it is because of you. We need to continue to honor the feeling that we have in the pride of FSCJ. And we are one college. I know that it is so important that each and every one of our campuses and centers have their own personality, because you reflect the personality of the neighborhood you sit in, of the courses and programs that are offered there, and of the faculty, staff, and students that go to a campus. That personality is critical in the mosaic of one college, and I would never want you to think we will take that away. But to our community, to our potential students, to our business and industry leaders, FSCJ is one college, and so they don't distinguish between stepping into the hallways at South Campus or the hallways at Kent Campus or Cecil Center or Nassau Center. They step into FSCJ, and that's what I ask you to join me in celebrating today, but having this the kickoff of the celebration for the entire academic year. We are one. And indeed, this day, this celebration of convocation is a way of coming together as one, of colleagues and comrades. And we all share the passion of education. That is why we're here. We share that passion so deeply that we come every day in celebration of education. And this passion is one I honor most. I believe in institutions' rituals and traditions provide insight into that institution's soul. And in only a few months with you, I see that our soul is rich and deep. We have much to celebrate. And the excitement I feel today is similar to the excitement I have felt at the start of every new school year throughout all of my life. I remember so fondly as a child preparing for the start of a new school year. And every year, that was the time I got a brand new dress, a new pencil box, and a new lunch box. Admittedly, I am dating myself to all of you, and if any of you have wondered my age or my generation, you now have further clues. But back to my lunchbox. So we would bring these metal lunch boxes each day filled with bologna and mayo sandwiches on white bread, cheese sticks, and snickerdoodle cookies. Now, you may be wondering out there how it is I am still with you today and healthy. I wonder that too, but I am. So there was one lunch box in particular that always stayed in my mind's eye and my memory. And in my memory, this lunchbox symbolized the glee and joy of the first days of school. Now, this lunchbox was shaped as a bright yellow school bus with Disney characters of Pluto, Mickey, Jiminy Cricket, Donald Duck, and many of the other Disney family members hanging out the windows of this grand little metal school bus with grand smiles on each face. You couldn't help but be happy carrying this lunchbox to school every day. Did anyone else have similar metal lunchboxes? Oh, good. So some of you did. So I'm not the oldest one in the house. Well, I am so proud today. This is a special day. So I'm sharing with you. I hope our cameras, can you get my school bus? Can you get my lunchbox? I'm going to share this with you so that you look at this as a symbol of the joy and glee that I still carry with me as I join you in our celebration of the start of a very great academic school year. And I ask you to find your memory moment for learning and rejoice in that memory moment as we think ahead and as we look ahead. We've just celebrated our 7-month anniversary together. Several noteworthy things have taken place since January. Most notably, I would say, the reaccreditation of our institution. Reaccreditation, indeed. Reaccreditation is critical in maintaining and improving FSCJ. And I want to extend my personal thanks to each and every one of you who made that accreditation happen. It happened because of all of you, all of us, not because of one person or one program or one issue. It happened because of the collective celebration and excellence that FSCJ provides. Thank you for that. I feel that that is such a testament to our one college, and we are accredited as one college. Another important aspect since January of our time together, I believe, was our Strategic Planning Day. What a fantastic event that allowed us to bring together community leaders, employers, and you. We actually had 86 community and business leaders join us for the morning. And we asked them, here's our mission statement. Are we still relevant to you from your seat in the community? And if we are, how will you know when we have reached our mission based on your seat in the community? And then in the afternoon, we had 245 folks on site and another 125 streaming in, members of our college community, you, that reacted to what our business leaders and community leaders said, and helped plan out our roadmap for going forward. Here's the mission statement based on the input not only of our community, but our college and our trustees. In fact, the trustees just affirmed this mission statement and approved it, was it a week ago, at their most recent Board of Trustee meeting. And let me just read you the mission statement, because this is who we are. This is who we say we are to our community. Florida State College at Jacksonville provides high-value, relevant, lifelong education that enhances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic development of our diverse community. And our vision statement, our vision looking forward, Florida State College at Jacksonville, growing minds today, leading tomorrow's world. Thank you for your help in bringing our mission to the relevancy that it has as we stand here today. As faculty, staff, and administrators, we are all working toward a single purpose. And that is to give our students the opportunities to experience everything they need to complete their personal goals for higher education. Our work is to support success. We won't give success, we don't give grades, we don't give anything, but we support the teaching and learning in such masterful ways as we support success. We will continue to collaborate with our community and business partners to create relevant programs to ensure we have an educated workforce that is marketable and reputable. We have worked also to cultivate many more positive relationships with our media partners in the community, and I thank each of you who have been willing to serve as experts and share your expertise when asked to be the resource or expert for the college on a particular subject that the media requests. Every time the media looks to FSCJ as an expert on a subject matter, we are taking one step further towards that important success and placement in our community. And that doesn't happen by just one person being a spokesperson. That happens by you being willing to share your expertise when they ask. And when Jill Johnson calls you, our Director of Communications, and says, hey, could you speak to this? Each and every one of you have been so willing to do that, and I thank you. I am very grateful for your willingness, because as one voice, we create excellence and truly, truly, truly critical importance in our community. Our financial aid issues are slowly being sorted through and resolved. This is, as you know, a long and arduous as well as complex task. And I just want to give a shout out to our financial aid folks on the ground who have been so dedicated to helping our students get the financial aid that they need. Sometimes they may feel like the unsung heroes, and in fact they are. So to our financial aid folks in the audience, thank you. To our advisors and student support staff, I thank you for helping students navigate the byways and ruleways. Yes, I made that word up, ruleways, because there are a lot of rules. And we don't want to be confined by rules, but we must follow rules, especially federal and state guidelines. And you have my commitment to do that, and I ask for your commitment in doing that. For together we are moving towards stability in this crucial area of success for so many of our students and for each of us. Financial support is a critical piece of FSCJ's stability as well. Our operating budget is made up of essentially two parts: legislative allocations, student tuition. You might have noticed our legislative allocations are patterning a diminished trend, but it's seen nationwide. It's not just in Florida. In past years, state support for open access institutions of higher ed would receive 90% of their operating budget from state allocations, and only needing to cover the last 10% with student tuition. Today, not just here at FSCJ, but across the country, we are essentially at a 50% state allocation and 50% from student tuition. However, I believe we must strive to keep our students' tuition low. That is such an access point for so many of our students. Given this, it becomes incumbent upon each and every one of us to increase the retention of the students we have and to support them in completion of their goals. And so you will hear an awful lot of language and conversation and invitation towards strategic enrollment management over this coming academic year. Strategic enrollment management is the responsibility of everyone in this college. How a student touches this college and how we touch them can make the difference of whether the student stays and completes or the student feels unwelcome, undervalued, and leaves. And so I beg of you, join me, join our leaders here in helping to retain our students. For every one student we retain, the multiplying effect is magnificent. And that allows us to build our financial health while not increasing tuition. In every department, in every office, in every discipline, on every campus, I envision a team of you and me and us. If I might take a moment to introduce part of a team that I rely on a very daily, if not nightly basis, and that is our cabinet. And I'm going to ask them to stand. I know they'd love to be embarrassed, and so I'm going to ask them to stand. I ask that you hold your applause until everyone has been introduced from our cabinet. But let me begin with our Vice President of the College and Provost, Dr. Judy Bilski. Our wonderful presidential fellow who has warmed us up and actually provided great leadership in planning our Convocation Day, Dr. Aaron Richmond. our Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Jim Stevenson. And this is a new face to most of you, our newly appointed Vice President of Business Services, Al Little. Our General Counsel, Colin Mayu, and our presidents at our various campuses, Dr. Barbara Darby, President of our magnificent North Campus, Dr. Sandy Robinson, Executive Director of our Nassau Center and North Campus President-elect, Jana Coy, our President of our Open Campus Deerwood Center, Dr. Maggie Cabral-Malley, our President of South Campus, Dr. Ian Newhard, our President of Kent Campus, and Dr. Marie Nagy, our President of Downtown Campus. Will you join me in a round of thanks? Thank you. I also want to take just a quick moment to recognize two very important people in the audience. Mr. Jeff Edwards, if you'd stand, a member of our foundation board, and Ms. Candy Holloway, if you'd stand, a member of our Board of Trustees and Vice Chair for our Nassau County Board of Trustees. So thank you. I hope you understand how we all work hand in hand with you. We each have a different role, but there is not one role in this college that is not critical to the success of our institution. I don't care what your title is, what your pay grade is, what you call yourself, what you do. Every single one of us is critical to our college, and thank you for that. And finally, we will celebrate our 50th anniversary next year. 50 years of FSCJ, but I think there have been a couple of iterations, and I'm not even going to attempt to share all of the acronyms. Just know that we, next year, will have grown up to be 50 years old. And this is a gigantic milestone. For 50 years, FSCJ has provided high quality, open access, affordable higher education in Northeast Florida. We should be proud of these roots, and we will celebrate them collectively throughout the year. So start thinking now, because to me, celebration of FSCJ is about engagement. Engagement internally, engagement externally. And so as we set about to celebrate who we are, not only for ourselves, but for our community, it will be a year-long engagement with the community and ourselves. In fact, I would like to ask if you have stories or know of those in the community that have stories that personify how FSCJ has grown and become the college for the community, that you would contact Jill Johnson, our Director of Communication. I'd like to collect stories because it is in the stories of individuals that we tell the story of FSCJ. And we have much to celebrate, much to be proud of. And once again, thank you for inviting me into this magnificent institution and part of this family. I am so pleased to be part of you. With that, I want to now acknowledge our years of service. It's my honor to bring thanks and recognition to those of you who have reached a milestone in your career with FSCJ. Please look with me to the screen where the names of our 25-year, 30-year, 35-year, and 40 years of service awardees are displayed. What a tribute to your dedication. And FSCJ thanks you. I will share with you as we try to transition into our own rituals and traditions. We will be honoring these members of our college community in a separate ceremony this fall. I just wanted to have all of you see the names of dedication and to thank you on behalf of the leadership, on behalf of our students, on behalf of our community for your years of service. If you are being recognized this year for a work anniversary, and even if it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, please make sure you stop by the cafeteria before you leave today and pick up a small token of appreciation. And now, I would like to introduce 3 people that will introduce the several additional awards. And if I might ask Luther Bowie, the Administrative and Professional Collaborative Chair-elect, Dr. Jon Woodward, our Faculty Senate President, and Matt Wetzel, our Career Employees Council President, to come on stage and give those awards.
Dr. Bielto, excuse me. My name is Luther Bowie, and on behalf of the Administrative and Professional Collaborative, I'd like to recognize our 2014 award recipients. Our Quality Leadership Award recipient this year is Mr. Fred Coveyhouse, Executive Director of Continuing Education. Mr. Coveyhouse, if you'll please stand for us. And our Exceptional Service and Leadership Award goes to Dr. Jerry Flieger, Associate Dean at the Downtown Campus. Dr. Flieger. Thank you. Your awards, as well as the rest of the awards, will be displayed at the Human Resources table after our presentation today.
Thank you, Luther. I'm Matt Wetzel, CC President. I'd like to just take one opportunity and thank the administration for allowing everyone to attend today's convocation. Can we give them a round of applause for allowing us that? All right, now I will read the award winners for the Career Employees Recognition of Excellence. Just hold your applause until all names are read. Ron Colleton, Journeyman Electrician, North Campus. Rosemary Harper, Senior Plant Worker, South Campus. Marla Johnson, Duplicating and Mailroom Coordinator, North Campus. Trina McGowan, Library Manager, Open Campus, Deerwood. Mandy Miller, Administrative Assistant, Kent Campus. And Kathy Robertson, Business Office Coordinator, Downtown Campus. Can you please stand to be recognized?
Hello. I'm Jon Gordon, the newly elected Faculty Senate President. Thank you, thank you. I would like to announce the Outstanding Faculty Awards for 2014. And please, everyone stand and remain standing so we can all stare at your lovely faces for a little while, please. Shauna Coram, Professor of Business at Kent Campus. There. Nancy Eschen, Professor of Mathematics at South Campus. Chad Kuiper, Professor of Speech and Forensics at South Campus. Steve Milzanowski, the genius, Professor of Chemistry at South Campus. Where is he? He's here somewhere. Karen Otto, Professor of Speech at North Campus. Shepard, Professor of English at North Campus. And last but certainly not least, Halen Washington, Professor of Mathematics at Kent Campus. Thank you very much. You are all truly outstanding faculty.
I'm back. to hold your iClicker in your hand and turn it on by pushing the orange button. Raise it up if it's on. Hey, y'all are getting good at this command thing. All right, so I'm going to pretend that I'm on The Price is Right. You recognize the theme song? No, we were provided these iClickers today because of the generous support of iClicker, the company that makes these and provides them. I've been using these for years in my classrooms, especially when I'm dealing with controversial topics. And we're gonna have a little fun with these right now. I'm gonna do a little game show since we have so many new faces and you may or may not recognize some of them. But before I begin the game show, please.
Got him on the spot. Welcome back.
I feel welcome. I feel welcome back.
Welcome back.
Can you just eject it?
Welcome back.
There we go. All right. You know, it makes it authentic when we have a few imperfections, right? So iClicker is raffling off today. Listen up. If you would like a brand new tablet for free, go to the iClicker table after Convocation ends today. They're in the exhibitor area in the cafeteria, and put your name in for the raffle and you might win that free tablet. No obligation. And they're also here with us today. We've got a few representatives from the company. Mandy Gannell, where are you? Can you stand up for me? Mandy is, give Mandy a hand. She helped coordinate. Thank you. They gave us these to use today for free so that we could do what we wanted to do and have your feedback. What do I keep doing? Is it my hair? Okay. So that we could get your feedback. And so first things first, let's answer, whoa, good previous. There we go. Oh, I teased you. Tell us who you are. So what you're going to do is, when I open it, I haven't opened it yet. Listen, I'm the teacher. When I open it, you're going to press the appropriate button on your clicker, okay? Whichever button you care to push, okay? And I can't wait to see the results to this one. Everybody ready? I'm about to open it. It's open. Should be in a second. You should get a green light once you push the button. Let's see what everybody says. See the bar at the top? Oh, do we really have a couple news reporters? Welcome. Everybody see how this works? Everybody have their clicker turned on. Okay, if you're behind the curve here, you have time to catch up before it counts. I promise you your responses will not be counted towards your performance evaluation this year. It's all anonymous, I promise. Wink, wink, just kidding. All right, here we go. Well, hold on. There we go. So who is the new campus? Sorry, y'all. At downtown. Jimmy Buffett wants a turn here. Hold on,
Good morning.
it's not open yet.
My name is Jim Stevenson.
Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Jana Coy.
I'm Maggie Cabral-Malley.
I am Marie Foster Nagy.
And look at that. Wonderful. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, this is much better. Well, guess what, everyone? Jill? There we go.
Nagy, and I'm campus president at Florida State College at Jacksonville, downtown.
There you go. Who is the Kent campus president? Is it choice A?
I'm John Woodward.
Is it choice B?
I'm Matt Wetzel.
Or choice C?
Yo soy Barbara Darby.
Or choice D?
Good morning. I'm Ian Newhart.
Hold on. Now you can vote. Working out the kinks here this morning. You are correct if you put choice D. Next.
Good morning. I'm Ian Newhart, and I'm president of the Kent campus. I haven't been in Jacksonville very long, but one thing I've learned is that the west side is the best side.
Thank you, Dr. Newhart. And who is the president-elect at North Campus Nassau Center? Is it choice A?
I'm John Woodward.
Choice B?
Hi, I'm Jerry Flagger.
Choice C?
I'm Maggie Cabral Malley.
Or choice D?
Hi, I'm Sandy Robinson.
You can vote. Jill, next.
Hi, I'm Sandy Robinson, the Executive Director of the Nassau Center and President-elect of North Campus. I am so excited to be here at Florida State College at Jacksonville.
Do you see a pattern emerging? I didn't want to trick you today. And finally, last but not least, we should have 100% accuracy on this. Choice A. Who is our college president? Choice A.
I'm Maggie Cabral Malley.
Choice B.
Hi, I'm Jerry Flagger.
Choice C.
I'm Matt Wetzel.
Or
Hello, I'm Cynthia Biotto.
okay, I don't know who put choice A, B, or C, but you might want to change your answer. She's sitting right here. No, D. That's the correct answer. D. Push it again. D. You're not listening. Let's move on.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Biotto, president of Florida State College at Jacksonville. I could not be more delighted to say that or to be here. Welcome to our convocation.
So an FSCJ convocation would not be complete without a video. So we've got a video for you. And hashtag #OneCollege in case you haven't tweeted yet. Take a picture of you and your friends. Tweet it. It's fun. I just tweeted y'all saying #OneCollege, believe it or not. Anyway, so the video. I want to turn it over to a video of our leaders. And sometimes in events like this, we can take the opportunity to remember why we do what we do, to celebrate the fact that we work in education. We could probably make money doing something else in our lives, could we not? But we've chosen this vocation. I chose this vocation many years ago because I was inspired by an educator. I was reached, I was inspired. And so I wanted to go out and ask our leaders, what inspires you? We all have a different reason why we come to work every day, but what keeps us going sometimes on our difficult days is why we do what we do, and our passion. So, before I turn it over to the video, those of you standing in the back, there are about 30 chairs right up here, and I welcome you to come sit in them if you'd like to take a break from your feet. Raise your hand if you have an empty chair next to yourself right now. So there are many empty chairs in the house. If you'd like to filter up, please don't be shy. All right. I'm going to get off the stage.
I think the greatest inspiration I get is by walking around and hearing a student's life story. The stories of our students are more compelling and remarkable than any novel you could write.
At the end of the day, people are coming here to learn new skills, to become more educated, and to pursue what they're passionate about. And that's an exciting environment to be in. That's a great place to work.
The mission itself, which has to do with serving students and serving our community, is what I'm about.
For me, the interactions with the students, knowing that you're making a difference, it may not be today, it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, but something you're planting a seed that will grow later on.
We change lives, one student at a time. And that has been my passion since I came to the college.
All I have to do is think about the faces of the students that I see walking across the stage at graduation. And I think that's enough to keep anybody inspired.
All I need is to have one student stop by and say, this really helped me, or you can't believe what this meant to me. Okay, you're right back on track again.
Oh, it's the stories of the students and how we do change lives. And it's just absolutely exciting on how we really do influence their careers and their lives ahead.
When I talk to faculty, when I talk to staff who love to come to work because they meet these students, that inspires me as well.
Right now, I interact with a number of faculty from several different campuses, and we form committees, we form the dialogue series in order to both improve our own skills and also to help pass on some of this knowledge to our students.
My faculty have always inspired me. I've been at this for 40 years, and every place I've been, it's the faculty and their connections with the students.
So when we talk about one college, it's about really that service and really about impacting the lives of students and providing the best quality education that a student can receive. Doesn't matter what campus. It's all about us as Florida State College of Jacksonville being one college.
One plan and one mission and one goal, and that's to assist our students and get them acclimated to the college.
One college means all aspects of the institution working together to deliver the best possible experience for students.
How we think of ourselves as one college, to me, is a critical piece of work that we need to continue to enhance and build upon. We've started it, but when we are able to say, yes, we are one college, then we have made it.
Good morning again, everyone. If you've forgotten or were half awake when we started, I'm Dr. Judy Bilski. I'm Provost, Vice President of the college. This is exciting, okay? I hope it's going to be even more exciting as we get into this next clicker. I'm a little nervous now after the first run through, but we're going to make this work. And Aaron, you're my backup here on getting these buttons right. As Dr. Biotto said earlier, and as most of you know, we are in the process of developing a new strategic plan for the college. And part of developing a strategic plan is coming up with a revised or updated mission statement, which we have done. It went to the Board of Trustees for approval at their last meeting. New vision for the college, which talks about where we want to be. The mission talks about, who we are, vision, what we would like to be. But part of that exercise also is to look at the values that the college embraces. Because we also, oops, almost lost this a little prematurely. The values of the college, of course, are our ideals. The elements that describe what's personally important to us and our core beliefs. And so these are already embedded in our mission statement, in our vision, but they're actually a statement of values embedded in our strategic plan, or will be in our strategic plan. And we don't feel we should establish values for the college without input from all of you. So that's what this exercise is all about. So, put this down here. The first thing I did was probably what most of you do when you were thinking about, well, what do we have to choose from? What kind of values are out there? What's our inventory look like? I Googled it, okay? Guess what, guys? Well, that didn't work, but 400, okay? Over 400. Here, get some help from our presidents. You can see, when I Googled values for us to choose from, this is the kind of list that you find on the internet. So your job this morning, over the next half an hour, is, we're going to put these on the screen, and I want you all to go through all 400 and some, and prioritize for me so I can truly say we've had your input. Okay, well, maybe not, okay. But I do want some of your input. So what we did as an alternative when we saw that there were this many values out there is a team of us went and we looked at the value statements of various other peer colleges to see if there was some commonality out of these 400, to see what popped out as being repeated over and over again, and decided to take those out of the list and put them together, and then, based on those 30, get some initial input from you. Now, this is not the end-all, be-all, okay? This is just the beginning of the conversation, so I don't want you to think what you've done today locks us in forever to these values, and you're going to see them written in the strategic plan when it's published later in the year. But this is our initial foray into getting some feedback from you. So what we're going to do is, up here on the screen, you see the 30 values that seem to come up most commonly when we look at values of institutions of higher education. Take a good look at those, because we're going to run through them one at a time, and I'm going to ask you, out of these 30, to pick out 5, or to designate 5 that you think are the most important. Okay? So look at them now, because they're going to disappear and they're going to come up one at a time, and you might say, ooh, I'm only on number 1 or on number 8, and I really think there was one down there, number 27, I liked. So we're going to go through them one at a time and let you designate them with your clicker. Okay? Again, there may be more that you think of later on, and we're going to have committees, as you know, and conversations going on throughout the year, but this is just a start. Okay? Okay. You're going to be pressing A on your clicker when you see a word come up that you really think should be one of the 5 top values of the institution. You don't have to worry about buttons B, C, or D, just A. Okay? But wait to press A until I give you the okay, because otherwise it's not going to register. And we have a little lag, as we saw when Aaron was doing this exercise. So we're going to try to see if this works. Here's your first one. It would help if I turned mine on. It wasn't on, Aaron. Okay, she told me it goes off automatically after 10 minutes. Okay. All right, don't press anything yet, folks. Hopefully you haven't jumped ahead. Okay, you're going to have about 10 seconds to select and put in whether or not this is one of your top 5. You might want to use your fingers as we go through the next 10 minutes to keep track when you've hit your 5. Okay. A lot of people like strength. Okay, there's what we see. Many of you. Okay. Here's why I have to say, Aaron, help. Okay. Integrity, okay. Okay. Now it's running. Vote, okay. If you like integrity, remember to keep that count. You only get 5. Integrity is high on the list. That's probably a good thing. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. Aaron, can I just push next, or do I have to go back to stop? Innovation. We're going to pick up the speed here. So if you like it, I did. Okay, timer's running. Okay. Good. Innovation is popular also. I'm wondering when we get down to 25, are there going to be any left to choose? Seriously? So much for technology here, okay? We're going to let Erin hold this now because she has twice as much experience as I do. I'm pushing these buttons, as you can see from the past 15 minutes. She's a pro at this, okay? Let's go to the next one, spunk, okay? Well, maybe this wasn't on the top 30 of your peer colleges out there, but we thought it was a fun one off the list. But if you like it, go ahead and make it one of your 5. Some people like spunk. Okay, good. We're going to have to pick up the pace. Aaron, let's go to the next one. Sustainability. Okay, not yet. When you see the little timer at the bottom, it means you can put your vote in the bottom right. Okay. How are we on sustainability? Creativity. Not yet. Don't hit it yet. Now, you're open. Cutting it off at 10. Okay. Wow. Creativity. Good one. Next. Service. Don't vote yet. Okay, now, 10 seconds. Okay. Did we skip service? We got that, okay. Social responsibility. They're all good, aren't they? It's hard to narrow them down. Okay. Interesting how that's both ends there. Okay, next. Responsibility is different from social responsibility. Figure that one out. As you're doing this, you might also want to be thinking, of course, about what is important for us to convey to our students and those who we work with, okay? There's content knowledge that they're going to get in the classroom too, but you also want them to go out with some strength in their core values. Responsiveness. Is it important for us to be responsive and teach our students to be responsive? Aaron? Culture of honesty and trust. What do you think? You run out of fingers? Hope not. Big. I get it. Next. Wait. Okay, open-mindedness. Two more seconds. Okay. Also important. Respect. Okay, let's close that. Excellence in teaching as a value. Okay. Next one. Continuous improvement. Do we want to become better and better continuously? Okay? Next, unity. Heard a lot about one college today. Everybody's clickers working? To nods if you're working? Yes? Okay. Next one. Accountability. Okay? Lifelong learning. You hear that referenced in our mission statement right now. Okay? Being the best. Being the best. Okay, next. Civility. Importance of civility in the news a lot these days. Close that, Aaron. Equity. Next. Diversity. Important one. Next. Inclusion. Anybody have any fingers left? Yes. Holding out, I see. Okay, move on. Wellness. Next. And that's it. Okay, we made it through the list. Thank you. Okay. What we're going to be able to do is to put this all together and shoot it out back, and you can see the results. But this is unity to have this many of you in one room and to give us our initial feedback to help the committees that are working on identifying the values that are important to the college actually have something to start from. It's their springboard for their further activities. And thank you so much, Aaron, and thank you, iClicker people, and all of you. Did anybody not use up all their fingers? A couple people, okay? You're holding out. But thank you for participating, okay? I appreciate it.
Thank you. That was great. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. We are truly honored to have someone with this gentleman's energy and talent, and he actually lives very close to our college. He lives in Ponte Vedra. Jon Gordon is our keynote, and he is also a husband, father, and author. His best-selling books and talks have inspired readers and audiences around the world. He is the author of The Energy Bus, Soup, The No Complaining Rule, I actually like that one, Training Camp, and his latest book, The Carpenter. When he's not running through airports or speaking at businesses, hospitals, or schools, you can find him playing tennis or lacrosse with his wife and his 2 teenage children. Jon believes in keeping his bio short because his past accomplishments are meaningless. What matters most is what he says, that he says, something today that will inspire you to take action, not only today, but tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Jon Gordon.
Good to see you again. It's good to see you. I want to thank Dr. Biotto and Dr. Richmond for bringing me here, the leadership team for bringing me here today. It's really such an honor to be here with so many amazing educators and people in education who are having such an impact on people's lives. I love speaking to educators because if you ask people who made a difference in your life, and I ask this often of people, so often they say, it was an educator. It was someone who was throughout their schooling years, whether it was in middle school, high school, elementary school, college. It's always someone in education. Billy Graham said that one educator will impact more people in a year than most people do in a lifetime. And so that's my life. That's who impacted me. It was the educators in my life. It was the people in education. And so what I want to talk about today is the power of one positive college. Not just one college, but one positive college, because it's the positive educators and the positive leaders that ultimately impact people in this world. Now, I think it's ironic that I speak about positivity. It's my life's work, because I'm not naturally a positive person. I'm really not. I grew up in Long Island, New York. In a Jewish-Italian family, a lot of food, a lot of guilt. A lot of wine, a lot of whining. My mom wanted the son the doctor, the son the lawyer. My brother went to Johns Hopkins pre-med. I went to Cornell University pre-law. She was telling everyone, she was bragging, my son the doctor, my son the lawyer. My brother came out an actor, I came out a bartender. She was devastated. But I know that she would be proud that I'm here with you today. Well, growing up in the family I grew up in, it wasn't always very positive. And so I really wanted to be a more positive person. I wanted to pursue positivity in my life. So a number of years ago, over 13 years ago, I started to research all the ways I could be more positive. It was the emerging field of positive psychology during that time. And so I started to do all this research. I started to write about it. I started to share it. And that led me to write a book called The Energy Bus. Who here has read The Energy Bus, just to get an idea? Okay, both of you. Excellent. See, that's why I have to stay positive. Well, for those who haven't read it, it's about a guy named George who's miserable and negative, and his team at work is in disarray, and he has problems at home, and he wakes up Monday morning to this flat tire, and he was really easy to write about because he was based on me, and he was based on my own personal struggles with negativity and adversity in my own life. So he has this flat tire, and he has an important meeting to get to, so he walks inside. He asks his wife to take him to work, and she won't. That was based on personal experience as well. So now he has to take the bus to work, and he gets on the bus and he meets Joy, the bus driver, and she calls him Sugar. And she and a cast of characters teach him the 10 rules for the ride of his life that not only help him become a more positive leader, but a better father, a better husband. And it's about getting his team on the bus, one bus, and moving in the right direction with a shared vision and focus and purpose. And on another level, it's also about an individual has to overcome all the negativity, all the adversity, and all the challenges in the world to ultimately define himself and his team's success. And I believe he represents the challenges that we all face. Can we take the lessons we learn on the bus, at meetings like this, at events like this, and the books that we read, the trainings we go through, and can we ultimately bring them to our work, to our college, to have a greater impact, to make a difference, to be all that ultimately we're meant to be? And so through my journey of writing this book and now having worked with a lot in education, a lot of people in professional sports, and a lot of Fortune 500 companies, I've seen how people have put these principles into action. I realize that the genius is not on stage. I really believe the genius is always in the audience. My job is just to unleash the genius. And so many of you have emailed, I've met many of you, and I've received emails from many of you, and of how you've actually, some of you who have read the books and used them, and I get emails all the time, and I want to share with you what I found works. I want to share with you what we could do on a daily basis to create this one college, and also to be our best and bring out the best in others. And it starts with creating a positive culture. What I've learned is that positive leaders drive positive cultures. And by the way, I believe we're all leaders here. Positive leaders drive positive cultures. And culture's everything, because culture drives expectations and beliefs. Expectations and beliefs drive behaviors. Behaviors drive habits, and habits create the future. And so first and foremost, it all begins with the culture that we create. And here's the thing, everyone here creates the culture of this one college. Everyone here. It's not just leadership. Everyone here creates it by what you think, by what you believe, by what you say, and by what you do. Culture, it's not static, it's dynamic, it's always changing. It doesn't matter what it was in the past. Right now, we can create a great culture. I was brought into the Atlanta Falcons when Mike Smith became the head coach that year. Their culture was in shambles. The whole Michael Vick thing had happened. Bobby Petrino had just left. Mike Smith left the Jaguars, becomes the head coach of the Falcons. And sure enough, together we work on focusing on culture. And I saw firsthand how a leader and a team came together to build this great culture. And I've seen the impact it's had over the years. So it starts with culture. And you are creating it every day by what you think, by what you believe, by what you say, and by what you do. And part of that, to do that for this year, I want to encourage you to think about the mission and the vision, okay? We talked about it, you shared it, but what does it mean to you? Because it can't just exist on a piece of paper. So what is your mission? What is your vision? And how does that contribute to the bigger mission and the bigger vision? Because a mission statement is pointless unless you have people who are on a mission. It's pointless unless you have people on a mission. It doesn't matter what values you come up with unless we live and breathe them every day and they become part of our heart and our minds. So it becomes the power of us living those values and living the mission and living the vision. That is the power. You know, Enron had integrity as one of their values, just so you know. So it's about the people and the leadership. We're going to live them. And I know that you have a leadership that is committed to these values, committed to what they're doing. I've worked with them in the past, years ago, which is pretty cool. And now you're here. So it's really amazing. And now we have this opportunity to do it together, though, and that's the exciting part. So one college, one culture. You don't want 5, 6, 7 different cultures. You want one culture. See, that's the challenge of any kind of business, to have one culture. Walgreens has 1,000 locations. They don't just have one culture, they have 1,000 cultures, but their challenge is to take the one culture and make it part of every single store they have, to have one culture. And that's what I challenge you to do. One culture all together, one college. Now, to have one culture, that brings us to the next principle, is that we must create a positive vision for the road ahead. So what is your vision for this year? Because if you can see it, you can create it. If you have a vision, then you also have the power to make it come true. But it all starts with your vision. How many of you have a vision for your year this year? Raise your hand if you have a vision. Okay, that's awesome. And if you don't have one, I want you to write it down. What is your vision? My vision 13 years ago when I started this journey of writing and speaking was to inspire and empower as many people as possible, one person at a time. I never wanted to be too busy for that one person. So what is your vision? And how will it inspire you? It's so important to have our vision and make sure we keep it alive, because there are going to be challenges along the journey where, we don't want to keep going towards the vision. It's like we get into the valley, right? And sometimes in the valley, you just want to stop. But I've learned it's the vision from the mountaintop that allows you to keep on moving towards the vision when you're in the valley. It's like marathon runners. When do most marathon runners quit the marathon? At what mile? Just shout it out. What do you think? Anybody say the first mile? No, because you're just getting started. It's like the first day of school. Like we're like, woo, Come on, who's energized for the first day? Oh, wow. Look, all right, we gotta do better than that. Who's energized for school to start? Come on. All right, that's good. Who's fired up that summer's over? Oh, yeah. So, you have to keep your vision alive. First day? No. That's like the first, mile. Okay, you're energized, you're ready to go. Someone said the last mile, that's what I thought. Most people would quit in the last mile, but actually the second least amount of people quit in the last mile. Why is that? You're almost there, you can see it. Yeah, that's it. But think about it, you've been running the longest, you've been running the farthest, so you should give up. That's when you should stop running, but you don't. Because you can see it. It's the power of the mind, the power of a vision. You're tired, you're drained, but you can see it. So what happens? You keep on moving towards it. Most people quit in the 20th mile. That is where we're physically tired and then mentally drained. We lose our vision. You're going to hit a 20th mile this year. I know you'll hit a 20th mile. When is it for you? Please don't say September. But you will hit a 20th mile. It might be February, it might be March, but when it does, I want to encourage you, keep your vision alive, and it will keep you alive. And then as part of this journey, I envision like everyone here driving their bus. And there's one big bus that we're all on together, but I also envision you're driving your own bus, right? Because each one of us is driving our own bus. And together, though, we're like a fleet of buses. One college, all moving in the right direction, okay, with a fleet of buses. Think about the power of that. Now, as you're driving your bus, what word is on your bus? What word will you put on the front of your bus to help you to drive you to be your best this year? I believe there's a word that's meant for you. I've done this exercise with a number of sports teams, with a number of colleges, with a number of businesses, you name it. Hendrick Auto, you go to Hendrick Auto, you will see a car in their headquarters, and on the car of all the words of all the employees on the car, as a reminder to live their word for the year. You see words like commitment and dedication and love and serve, and you just see all these different words. What's going to be your word for this year? I was just at West Point speaking, and one of the basketball players at West Point said that his word was nails, because he wanted to be tough as nails this year. That's a great word. I was speaking at Convocation for a large school district, high school in Texas, 5,400 teachers. Are you kidding me? Everything's bigger in Texas. And asked them some of their words, and one teacher yelled in the back, endurance. I said, no, that is a great word. I will outlast you. No matter what happens, I will outlast you. What's going to be your word that drives you? When I started doing this, my word was purpose. My wife's word was intentional. My children even did it. Their word were focus and positive, and it made such an impact on us as a family. My good friends who have been doing this now for 16 years, who gave me the idea, they do it with their families. You can take this home with your family. It's really powerful, and each member of the family comes up with their word. Then you make a painting of your word, and then you put it in the kitchen or the living room as a reminder to live that word for the year. Could you imagine if we all lived our word this year? And that word helped us live the values, and that word helped us contribute to the vision and the mission? How powerful would that be if we all did that? You guys with me on this? I could just see us all doing it. I could just see the power we'll have if we do that. One word, I want to encourage you. Pick your word for this year. There's a word that's meant for you, and it's meant to mold you and shape you and help you be all that you're meant to be. My words over the years have shaped me into who I am today. And I haven't always wanted that word. Like serve was my word last year. You know, it was so hard to serve because I served more than I ever have. But you know what? Every time I wanted to focus on me, I realized I was at my best when we focused on we. My wife loved it so much she was disappointed the year came to an end. She said, what's going to be your word this year? Selfish? I said, no, I can't be like that because now it's a part of who I am. And so now I take that word and then implement my next word for this year. So I want to encourage you to do that. All right, so now we have our vision. You write it down. I'm giving you a framework for the year because I think this is something that we need tangible things we can draw upon to help us. So we have our vision, then we have our word, we're driving towards it. We're building this culture, but along the way, we know we're gonna face negativity. We know we're gonna face challenges. For me, my challenges were, when I started this, was my dad actually. I remember telling my dad I wanna be a writer and speaker. I found my calling, Dad. His response, what the heck you wanna do that for? That's a load of junk, that won't amount to anything. He used other words. My dad was a New York City police officer, undercover narcotics. Yeah, my dad was shot a few times. He wasn't too big on positive energy. I love my dad. He's a very loving man, actually. He raised me since I was 5. He's actually my stepfather. And I hate the term stepfather, because he's my dad. He raised me. But a very loving man, but just the most negative guy on the planet. You get up in the morning, hey, good morning, Dad. He'd say, what's so good about it? My brother and I at the dinner table as teenagers, and we're talking about our future, and there's our dad. Oh yeah, I can see when you guys are older. The law firm of useless and useless. My dad was Al Bundy before Al Bundy was Al Bundy. I just realized some of you have no idea who Al Bundy is. You know, like a lot of young faces. I'm getting old. So a couple years after my dad's encouraging advice, I get on the Today Show, and the show is called Get Energized Today. I am so nervous, so terrified to be on national television. I get to the green room, and they sat me next to Queen Latifah. We had a very energizing conversation. She was awesome. It came my time to go be with Matt Lauer. I'm walking towards the door, and Queen yells, you go, energy guy. I didn't know what to call her. I said, thank you, Queen. Miss Latifah. I went out there and coached several people on enhancing their energy and their optimism for their work. And as I walked out of the studio, my dad called me on the phone. He's like, your mother, I just saw you on TV. You really made a difference. We're so proud of you. We always knew you could do it. I learned a valuable lesson back then, and this was way before I even wrote The Energy Bus, and it made its way in the book, is that not everyone's gonna get on our bus. Not everyone's gonna share our vision. Not everyone's gonna share our positivity. But our positive energy must be greater than all the negativity. Our certainty, our belief, and our faith in the work that we're here to do and the difference we're here to make must be greater than all the doubt. That's how important it is. You have to post that sign that says, no energy vampires allowed. Gandhi said, I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet, and neither should you. Our positivity must be greater than all the negativity we face to have the impact we're going to have. Every great leader faces challenges. Every educator faces challenges. Every person and their families, they face challenges. Every organization faces challenges. But what makes the difference are positive people who get on the bus together, one college, and decide to be positive together, and they decide to fuel up with it throughout the year. And that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, and I'm not talking about Pollyanna positive, right? I'm not talking about you never challenge things. You never say, hey, what about this? You never say, hey, let's get better here. No, I'm talking about we're all positive for the common good. We're positive for the betterment and the improvement of everything that we're here to do here. All right, and so the next principle I want to share is that the key is to create one college is that we must fuel up with positive energy on a daily basis. Because we know that optimism is a competitive advantage in this world. We know that positivity is a game changer. The research shows that optimistic salespeople outperform pessimistic salespeople. I believe we're all in sales in some way. We know that positive leaders are better able to go into the support of their team and move them in the right direction. We know that people experience more positive emotions than negative emotions. So the more you experience more positive emotions in your life, you become more resilient to stress. You become more mentally tough, able to overcome the challenges and obstacles you face. You have a broader picture. You see a broader picture of the future, a big picture of vision. You're able to see it. Whereas when you're negative, you're actually more constrained to focusing on just right here and now. So you're not apt to solve problems as well. So we know that positivity actually enhances creativity, if that was one of the values that you chose. It enhances creativity. And so we also know that teams that experience more positive interactions versus negative interactions, okay, those teams, it's a 3-to-1 or greater ratio of positive to negative, 5 positive to 1 negative, 7 positive to 1 negative. Those teams actually start to flourish. Whereas if the ratio is like 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, the team becomes very stagnant and unproductive. So we want to build strong teams on our campuses. We have to have more positive interactions, but guess what? It starts with us. It starts with us fueling up with it. It starts with us feeding ourselves, so in turn, we can feed our team members. Because if you don't have it, you can't share it. There's a great story about a woman who goes to the village to speak to the wise woman. She says to the wise woman, I feel like there are 2 dogs inside me. One dog is this positive, kind, and loving, and generous dog, and I have this mean-spirited, angry, negative dog, and they fight all the time. I don't know who's going to win. And the wise woman thinks for a moment and says, I know who's going to win, the one you feed the most. So feed the positive dog. And every day we have that choice to feed the positive or the negative dog inside of us. And whichever one we feed, that is what will grow. And I've learned that feeding the positive dog starts with our perspective, how we see the world. Because how we see the world determines the world that we see. It all comes down to perspective. How will you approach today? Will you focus on feeling stressed or grateful the minute you get up? Research shows we can't be stressed and thankful at the same time. Can't be grateful and stressed at the same time. So if you're feeling blessed, you can't be stressed. So one of the most important things I've done over the past 13 years is take a walk of gratitude almost every morning. And I can tell when I don't do it for a few days in a row. Take a walk of gratitude. And while you're walking, you just practice gratitude. You can even do it a thank you drive on the way here, where you get to work and you just take a walk really quick, from your car to the building or around the building, and you just say what you're thankful for. And the research shows when you do that, you flood your brain and body with these positive emotions that uplift you rather than the stress hormones that slowly drain you. You create a fertile mind that is ready for success. You have to decide how you're going to approach the day. I know that I have to. If I don't, I'm going to go negative. I literally have to approach the day and say, you know what? I'm going to focus on the positive today. When we get up in that morning, we can go to the window, we can say, good morning, God, or good God morning. And our mindset will determine the day we're going to have. I know about negative perspectives. My grandmother growing up flying, she was always scared of flying. She was terrified. And we would, right as we would board the plane, she would always say to me, Jonathan, when they say your time is up, but I don't want to be in a plane when someone else's time is up. Talk about a negative perspective. When challenges hit, do you look at the challenge or the opportunity? Who here has become stronger because of their challenges? Raise your hand. I know I have. So is it a challenge or is it an opportunity to learn, to grow, to improve, to get better? Gus Bradley is a genius at this. Gus Bradley has literally trains his team to look at the challenges, opportunities, to learn, to grow, to improve, to get better, to come back stronger. It's all about perspective. See, I fly a lot, right? So I was getting really tired of all the flying and the mishaps I've had and the miserable experiences. And so finally I said, all right, I got to turn this into a positive. So now I use the challenges of flying to tell stories that you just can't make up. Like the time I was in December, sitting on the plane, minding my own business, and my daughter, she's 16, she texted me, she said, "I love you, Daddy." I text her back, "I love you too." We just pulled away from the gate in that moment. I look up and the flight attendant is standing over me, staring at me. "Don't you know that by having that cell phone on, you're putting the lives of everyone on this plane at risk?" I said, "Ma'am, we're on the ground." She said, "It doesn't matter. How would you feel knowing if this plane goes down, it's because of you?" And then she stormed off. The guy next to me said, "Wow, she was pretty harsh. What do you do for a living?" I said, "I speak on positive customer service." But the funniest part, woman next to me, she had to be about 85 years old. She turned to me, she said, "I just keep my cell phone on and put it in my purse." They changed the laws now where you can actually have your phone out, and I think they changed it because of her. And then there was a time my family and I were flying from where we live here in Jacksonville. By the way, I'm so proud to be living in Jacksonville. I'm proud that this has been my home now for 13 years. I'm proud of this place. And we were going from here going to Maine, connecting in the Philadelphia airport. We arrived an hour and a half late for our connecting flight. We landed in Terminal A and we're leaving from Terminal F. And I know in Philly you have to connect at C16, which is really far from A. You get to C16, you then have to take a bus shuttle, which then takes you to F. I look at the screen, we only have 10 minutes to make our connecting flight. Look at my wife and kids. My children were 8 and 10 at the time. I said, "All right, guys, let's start running." So there we are now running through the airport. Have you noticed more people running through airports? Okay. We don't really have many through Jacksonville, but if you're connected through Atlanta, you're running all the time. So the next time you see someone run by you, I want to encourage you to do what I do, cheer them on. I cheer people on all the time. The other day, this woman was running by me. I said, "Go, go, go, I believe in you, you can do it." She was struggling, you could tell. She hadn't run in a while. She was really struggling. But as I cheered her on, she ran by me. She gave me the thumbs up like this as she ran by. Now, I don't always get that response. I was in LaGuardia, New York, and I cheered this guy in New York, and he gave me the finger. But I turned a negative into a positive. I said, "That's right, you're number one." Just like you were talking about earlier, right? Number one. We're in one college, right? Don't ever do it the other way. So that was us now. We're running and we're huffing and we're puffing and we're doing our best. And finally we get to C16 and there are no bus shuttles there. 5 minutes to make our connecting flight. There's a woman who was handling all the buses. I said, "How long did the buses get here?" She said, 4 minutes. So my children start crying, "We're not going to make it, we're not going to make it." So I turned to them and I go, "Guys, you got to stay positive." I said, "We're going to make it. I'm telling you, we're going to make it. You got to believe we're going to make it." I turned to the woman. I said, "We're going to make it, right?" She said, "You ain't going to make it." So finally the bus arrives. We get on the bus. We get to Terminal F. It's the last gate. So now we're sprinting down Terminal F as fast as we can. I have to admit, I left my wife and kids in the dust. I was getting on that plane with or without them. And just as I arrived, they slammed the door right in my face. I said, "Man, my wife and kids are underway," thinking that would help. She said, "I'm sorry, so there's nothing I can do." I said, "You don't understand. We'll have to stay overnight in the airport. All the other planes are booked. They'll ruin everything, all the plans we have. We have to get on this plane." She said, "I'm sorry, sir, the plane is pushing back. Look." My wife and kids arrived in that moment. We walked to the big window. We see the small plane, and it's pushing back, and we are just so dejected. But as we're watching this plane, we realize that we can see into the cockpit. Then we realize that we can see the pilots. We realize the pilots can see us. We make eye contact, so my wife and kids start jumping up and down, waving to the pilots. About a minute later, the door opens, a woman comes out, she says, "It worked." We were so excited, we walked down the stairs on the tarmac, they stopped the plane. The passengers weren't very positive. We take off, we land, another miracle occurred, our luggage made it too. True miracle. 10 minutes in Philly, don't know how it happened. So we're driving away in the rental car. Okay, I said, "All right, this is a great teachable moment for my kids as we're driving." I said, "Guys, what'd you learn from this experience?" And I think they're going to say, "Dad, I want to stay positive. I want to believe." My 8-year-old son said, "Dad, I want to just keep running." I thought, you know what, there's a lot of truth to that. So much of our success is that we just keep running. We stay positive and we never give up. And we turn our challenges into opportunities to tell stories and lessons that make us stronger and help others in the process. Life is a story, and you define it by your perspective and the story you're telling yourself. Are you a hero or a victim in the story? What kind of story is it? Is it a love story? Is it an inspirational tale? Is it a drama? Okay, you define it. Let's make it an inspirational tale. Let's look at those challenges. So you know what? Yeah, I might have gotten knocked down, but I'm going to get back up. And I'm going to become better in the process. And I'm going to make others better in the process. See, ultimately, it comes down to our thoughts every day. It's easy to talk about this now, right? But what are we doing when we go back and we hit the grind and stress happens? And, you know, believe me, I'm faced with that every day. Back to school with the kids, that has been challenging. Okay, we have all that. So what are we going to do to keep us positive? Well, the best advice I ever heard, Dr. James Gills, the only person on the planet to complete 6 double Ironman triathlons. 6 double Ironman. Last time he did, he was 59 years old. Which means you do an Ironman, 24 hours later you do it again at 59. I can't believe it. So I asked him how he did it. He said, I have learned to talk to myself instead of listen to myself. He said, if I listen to myself, I hear all the negative, all the fear, all the doubts, and all the complaints. But if I talk to myself, I can feed myself with the words and the encouragement that I need to keep on moving forward. How many of us need to talk to ourselves this year instead of listen? If you're not raising your hand, we know who you are. Come on, we all need to talk to ourselves, right? Who wouldn't raise their hand no matter what I ask? Come on. Yeah, you just raised your hand. I got you. So, and the ultimate thing we have to be talking to ourselves about is fear or faith. See, when change happens, fear automatically sets in. But as leaders and people, we have to make sure that we focus on faith. Because what do they have in common? They both believe in a future that hasn't happened yet. Okay, fear believes in a negative future. Faith believes in a positive future. I believe we should all choose to believe in the positive future. Let's get on the bus together. Let's create one college with faith. It doesn't mean we don't do it blindly. We turn complaints into solutions. Okay? So we don't mindlessly complain. That doesn't do any good. Complaining is like vomiting. Afterwards, you feel better and everyone around you feels sick. Okay? Okay, that's mindless complaining. Okay? Justified complaining is, hey, here's what's wrong, but here's how we can make it right. Here's how we can get better. Here's how we can improve. We want to get rid of mindless complaining. We want to focus on justified complaining to improve and create solutions, right? Every invention that's ever been invented was a complaint at first that then became a solution that then became a lot of money to the inventor. So let's focus on solutions. Let's focus on faith instead of fear. And ultimately, to be one college, let's get on the bus together. So now that moves from our thoughts and fueling up with positive energy to now feeding others with it. And I just want to share a few C's on doing that this year. On being positive, knowing that being positive doesn't make just you better, it makes everyone around you better. And a few C's that we can implement to do that. And the first C is communication. We have to make sure we communicate with each other and our teams and our students, okay, in order to get on the bus together. When I think of the challenges of communication, I think of the time I was running late to get into the airport to go to a speaking engagement. I go to grab my bag out of the kitchen and I look at the back patio and there's a snake on the patio. Now, I don't have time to deal with the snake because I'm running really late. But I grabbed my bag and I ran out the door. My wife Catherine's cell phone was on the counter and she's running errands. I'm thinking, I gotta let Catherine know about the snake. So I'm driving really fast to the airport. I finally come to a red light. I pull out the cell phone. Catherine, there's a snake on the patio. Green light, take off. Get through security, sprint on the plane. I just made it. I call her up. Catherine, did you get my text? I said, yeah, John, I got you a text. You typed snack instead of snake. So I want you to learn from my mistake because I'm still paying for it. We have to slow down. Slow down. and make sure we communicate well. Don't allow the busyness and stress of life to keep you from communicating with the people who you need to communicate with to build a strong team. It starts with communication. Now, communication involves listening. Okay, that's a big part of it. And I know that you are one college that are going to listen to each other in order to improve and get better. So part of it is listening, and I know that this leadership hears you and will continue listening, and that's important there. And I know it's important for you to listen to your students. What are your needs? How can I help you? How can I improve? But I also believe, and I learned this just a few days ago at West Point, that communication also involves not just telling people, but allowing them to experience it. The power of experience and communication rather than just dictating and telling someone. See, Team USA was there when I was there. So I was speaking to all the athletes and all the coaches at West Point, and then Team USA just happened to be there, and Coach K brought the team there because he went to West Point, and he wanted them to experience West Point, wanted them to experience service and sacrifice. So they took the basketball team, they divided them into three teams, and they took a group of three, and each group of three went with a family to the cemetery. They went to the cemetery with one of the families who had one of their children die. But they were, a graduate of West Point. And so there they are now at the cemeteries, and the family told all of Team USA, the Team USA group that was with them, about their child and the sacrifice they made and who they were as a person. And those players will be forever changed from that experience. See, Coach K could tell them about service, can tell them about sacrifice, but as a leader, the way he communicated to those players was allowing them to experience it for themselves. You guys with me on that? And so think about when we communicate, how do we get people to experience and to feel? You have to feel it, not just hear it. You have to feel it, not just hear it. So when you're communicating, how do we become a team that feels? Feels for each other, feels for our mission and purpose, and feels for what we're doing. And you know what? Part of that is knowing the difference you make, knowing that the impact you have on these young minds coming here, these people coming here, and the impact we can have on them, younger and older, actually. I mean, it's a wide mix that come here, and so knowing that we can impact their future and the power that we have, that's about feeling. Well, that brings us to connection. Okay, so it's communication, but then also it's really not just about communication; it's about connecting. And connecting is where the bond of trust is built. See, communication begins the process of building trust. Trust generates commitment. Commitment fosters teamwork, and then teamwork delivers results. So communication begins the bond, but connection is where the bond is truly built. I want to encourage you all to really become a connected team. I work with a lot of teams, and the ones who are connected become committed. I got a call from Billy Donovan last season, before the season. And we talked about several of these C's. I shared with him 5. We don't have time today, but I shared with these 5 C's. And one of the C's, what he really zeroed on was connection. He said, yeah, John, we get to the Elite 8, but we can't seem to push through for the Final 4 because we're just, we're not connected. That's it. So we talked about ways to get connected. He focused on it. I never saw a leader connect more with a team than him. I've never seen anyone connect more individually and collectively than he did. It blew me away what he did. I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Fame coach, and he is down in the grind, connecting with these guys. He's the kind of guy, when we were talking, he said, John, I'll come meet with you wherever you are. I'll come there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're Billy Donovan. You'll go anywhere? Because that's the kind of leader he is. He wants the best for his team. He's willing to do anything. I went there. I got a ticket on my way. I said, I hope it's worth it when I got there. Well, they made it to the Final 4. It was really worth it. They made it to the Final 4 this year because they were such a connected team. They weren't the most talented team. Remember, team beats talent when talent isn't a team. Okay, team beats talent when talent isn't a team. They were a connected team, and they did amazing things. Well, it's the same thing. I see it in schools. I see it in sports, everywhere. When we become a connected team, we become a powerful team. So get to know each other. Make it a point to really know each other's story. Know your team members. Take a little more time just to connect with each other and your students. Hey, who are you? Here's who I am. And get to know each other. I have an exercise I love when people do it. It's so powerful. If you really knew me, you would know this about me. If you really knew me, you would know this about me. And when you share that, it's amazing how you get to know each other and know the story. Your students will connect with you when you share your story with them. You share a defining moment in your life. You share who you are. You share what you love. You share why you got into teaching in the first place. You share why you're working here in the first place. Your team, same thing. Get to know your team. So I'll just tell you one little, thing that I do when I'm with teams. I say, okay, if you really knew me, you would know this about me. So I'm speaking to young athletes, this is what I tell them. I said, you would know that when I graduated college, I moved down to Houston because I was madly in love. So I went down to Houston to be with this girl. I gave up American law school, American University in DC, gave it up to go be there and be near her. I should have known it wasn't going to work out because on my way down, the car blew up. It did. The engine caught on fire and it was like, boom. So I literally had to leave it there. I mean, I had to leave it on the side of the road, called the service, I had to rent a U-Haul, and then I made my way down there. I get a beat-up Nissan Sentra. My mom helped me pay for it for a little while, while I was able to pay for it myself. But there I am down there, and all the dreams we had, all the plans we had, it just started to crumble, and it wasn't working out, and we were fighting a lot. And finally, I just thought, I got to go home. I'm just not supposed to be here. I got to go home. And I said to her, I got to go home. She said, well, if you go home, then we're over. I said, I got to go home. So now I'm driving home, 22 hours on the way, and literally tears coming down my face. I'm like crying, I'm bawling, I'm just like distraught. My heart's broken, and I'm driving. And then this song comes on the radio. I'll never forget, on 95. It said, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. And I'm like, I won't live in Houston. So I go home, I'm waiting tables. I think my life is over. All my friends went to go work on Wall Street, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? But I'm waiting tables, and you know what? I'm learning, I'm growing. And then I said, you know what? I want to move to an up-and-coming city. And so I pick up my stuff, and I literally moved down to Atlanta. Just moved down to Atlanta. I get an apartment. I started waiting tables down there. I would eventually get my master's in teaching. And then I wound up opening a restaurant because I was bartending and then got into the restaurant business. 3 weeks after I opened this restaurant, this woman's walking down the street. I see her walking down. It was love at first sight. For her, it took a few years, but for me, it was love at first sight. And it was my wife. And that's where I met my wife. We had our children there, and then we wanted to move to the beach. And so we heard about Jacksonville. We came down to visit, and it was the best move we ever made. Moving here was the greatest decision of our lives. And if it wasn't for those experiences of going to Houston and having that miserable experience and driving home and going to Atlanta, I would never be here today. You feel like you know me a little better by sharing that? Just part of my story. If I wanted to share a painful story, I would tell you that my biological father left when I was 1 year old. He left my mom. She was 23 years old, 2 kids, and left. Took money from the bank account and just took off. It was a very difficult time in our lives growing up. But then my mom married my stepfather, and he took me and my brother under his wing and raised us as his own. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wish I had a better relationship with my father. He's still alive, but to this day, we just can never have a great relationship because I know he was never there for me and never will be. So we're never really able to have a committed relationship because we never really got connected. Feel like you know me better? Well, guess what? When you guys connect to your teams, you know each other's story, guess what? The walls come down. You become more vulnerable. People think vulnerability is weak. No, vulnerability is power. Get to know each other. And then what happens is you want to work for each other. You want to fight for each other. You want to become one team. You want to become one college when you get to know each other. Without relationships, there is no strength of a team. Strong relationships build strong teams. So I want to encourage you this year for one college, make it a focus to build that communication, to focus on connection. And then the last C is caring. Just care about each other, care about the students, and care more. You know, it sounds so simple, right? But I believe it's one of the greatest strategies on the face of this earth is to care. Because we live in a world where most don't care, right? A lot of people don't seem to care. Have you ever been to a restaurant where the waiter or waitress doesn't seem like they care? It's really a bad experience, right? Have you ever been to a dentist where they don't seem like they care much? That's pretty scary, right? Guess what? The next time you're getting a surgery or an operation, make sure you find a doctor who really cares about the work they do and cares about you, right? Well, guess what? Think about the teachers and the educators who make a difference. Think about all the people who work, right, and contribute to what happens in this college to change lives. Think about, and to grow minds, right? Think about all the people here, and think about if we all just care a little more. I know you wouldn't be here if you didn't care, because you wouldn't be in this field if you didn't care. But what I want to encourage you is don't allow the busyness and don't allow the stress to keep you from caring about the things and the people that you're meant to care about. Realize that when you're busy and stressed, you activate the reptile part of your brain. The reptile doesn't care. The reptile is all about survival. The reptile wants to eat you. Okay, that's the reptile. Okay, it's not the caring part of your brain. But know that we have this part right here, the positive dog part of our brain. And any moment, this part of our brain and our heart can connect to override the reptile. And so know that when you're busy and stressed, the reason why you're not caring is because of that. And so you have to take some deep breaths. You have to slow down and you have to remember, okay, I gotta care just a little more. So to help you do that, remember the 1% rule. The 1% rule says this: a little more time with a little more energy, with a little more effort, with a little more focus, with a little more care equals big results. Here's what I know. Good educators know their lesson plans. Great educators know their students. Okay, good teammates are committed to being the best that they can be. Great teammates are committed to be the best for their team and making the best team that they can make and becoming the best team they can be. And so that's just care. Is caring a strategy? You bet. Think about your favorite businesses. Think about the places that you love to go. I believe they care just a little more. When you go to a Publix, right, what does Publix do? You ask them where something is. What do? They take you to the spot on the shelf. They show you where it is. And here we are talking about it. I was in Minneapolis telling the story, and people literally are telling me in Minneapolis what Publix does. They take you to the spot on the shelf and they show you. They're not allowed to say, I don't know, dude. They're not allowed to say, aisle 9, good luck, man. They take you to the spot on the shelf and show you where it is. They care just a little more. When I bought this suit, I bought it at Rosenblum's, and I went to go speak the first time, and I felt a card in my pocket. I pulled out the card. It was from Fitz. And Fitz wrote a little note in the card. He said, I hope you're doing something positive right now. And then I wore another suit another time, and there was a card in there, and I pulled out the card. It said, your day just got a whole lot better. And so that's his caring trademark. I want us to come up with a caring trademark this year. Let's make this tangible. What's your caring trademark? Maybe you're not going to write little note cards, right? But maybe you're a great listener. That's your caring trademark. Maybe you're a great encourager, and that's your caring trademark. Maybe you're someone who likes to do something for others, and you like to bring in bagels or something like that. We all love that, right? That's your caring trademark. Maybe you like to bake cookies and bring them in. You know, everyone has a different caring trademark, but I want to encourage you just to focus on that and care a little more. It's a strategy. Apple is famous for saying that they feel like their customers can sense the care they've put into their products. When Steve Jobs was a young man, he was building a fence with his dad in the back, and they're building the back of the fence. And Steve Jobs' dad was using the finest wood for the back of the fence that no one would see. And so Steve said to his dad, he said, Dad, why are you using this expensive wood for the back of the fence? No one's going to see it. No one will know. And his dad looked at him and said, you will know. You will know. And ever since then, Steve has made caring a part of everything they do at Apple. It's why when you look at an iPhone, it's so beautiful you want to lick it. I mean, it's like, it's why when you open up the inside, there's a design on the inside. Okay, because he knew people would look inside. Also, he knew that they wanted to make it the best they could make from the design and the care. Don't lick the inside, though. But it became part of their strategy. They care more. All right? So caring trademark and care. That brings us to the final thing I want to say, and it's a quick one. All this works not just with positivity, but with purpose. The last principle I've learned is that we must drive with purpose to have an amazing year, to have one college. Because there are going to be days we get up, we don't feel very positive. There are going to be days we get up, we don't feel like caring. We don't feel like communicating. I mean, come on, we have those days. There are some days I get up, my daughter says, Dad, I think you need to read your own book. I admit that. That's why I wrote the positive pledge. It was for me first, and then we started sharing it. But you know what I've learned? I've learned that that's why we have to focus on our purpose, because our purpose gives us something to be positive about. You have to have a purpose that gives you something to be positive about. We don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why we do it. Remember your why and you will know the way. Focus on your why and you won't get burned out, you won't get tired, you won't get drained. There's a great story about Lyndon Johnson. He was touring NASA. He came across a janitor that was cleaning up like the Energizer Bunny, cleaning up NASA. Lyndon Johnson went up to this janitor. He said, I've never seen anyone clean like you. You're the best janitor I've ever seen. The janitor turned to the president of the United States and said, sir, I'm not just a janitor. I helped put a man on the moon. So even though he was cleaning the floors in the halls of NASA, he saw his bigger purpose as putting a man on the moon. And guess what he was? He was contributing to it. I was speaking at a bus driver conference, and a gentleman came up to me at the end of my talk, and he said, you know, John, I'm a local pastor of this small little church around here. I started driving a bus for the insurance benefits and the salary. But a funny thing happened after a few years of driving this bus. I realized I was having a bigger impact on people's lives as a bus driver than I was as the pastor of this church. He taught me a great lesson. We don't have to go on a mission trip to be in a mission. Every day we can bring our mission, our purpose, and our passion to the work that we do. Don't chase success. Decide to make a difference, and what I found is that success will find you. Don't seek happiness. No, we'll never find happiness at work. You know what? We have to fuel up with passion and purpose, and when we work with passion and purpose, happiness is a byproduct of that. I'm miserable when I'm not living my purpose. But when I'm living my purpose, I find that I'm happy. Happiness is a byproduct of that. Plant yourself like a seed each day, a seed. Plant yourself and decide to serve and make a difference right where you are. And then when you do that, you know what happens? When we plant ourselves and say, I'm gonna have an impact right here. I don't care what's going on around me. We have these challenges here. You know what? I'm gonna educate. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna park. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna do everything I do to make a difference right where I am. What happens is we start to grow into the person, the influencer, and the leader that we're meant to be. Joy in the Energy Bus was influenced by a woman who was, who worked at Popeyes in Atlanta. And every day I would go there. She'd say, hey, baby doll, what's up, baby doll? Hey, sweetie pie. She was the Edith, sweetest woman you ever want to meet. I would see her all the time. I'd go through the airport. And when I wrote Joy, I pictured her. She looked like Queen Latifah, and that was my image of her when I wrote that book. You know what? And every day that woman was changing lives. They go, yeah, she's working at Popeyes. She's changing lives every day. She impacted me. Millions of people were leaving and smiling and going home happy because of her. So plant yourself where you are. Serve and make a difference, and we grow into who we're meant to be. 3 words I want to leave you with. Love, serve, care. That's it. We put this into action to live purpose. Love, serve, care. We love what we do. We love this place. We love our students. We love each other. Okay, we serve each day. We know that great leaders don't succeed because they're great. They succeed because they bring out the greatness in others. That only through service and sacrifice can we become great. The educators who made a difference in my life, they served, they sacrificed, they loved, and then they cared. They cared about me, they cared about their work, and they cared about each other. So we do that. We do these things that we talked about today. It won't just be one college, it'll be one positive college, driven with purpose, with a desire to have a tremendous impact. I'd like to do an Energy Bus send-off right now. So will you connect with each other? Let's get connected now with each other. You can lock arms, you can fist bump if you're a germphobe, whatever you want to do, okay? Well, let's connect. If you want to stand up, you can stand up, whatever's more comfortable. Let's get connected. All right. These guys connect together if possible. Is that possible? We can do it. We can do it. Team building exercise. Love it. All right, we're getting connected. We're making an effort. I love it. It's symbolic of the year. All right, this is awesome. All right, ready? All right. Energy Bus send off for an awesome year. May you leave this event that we just had together with a smile on your face. Okay, a real smile that produces serotonin. May you experience all green lights this year on the bus. No red lights. May you pick a word that will drive you to be your best, and it's not allowed to be retirement. Nope. I had someone at college the other day, they said their word was finish. They wanted to finish strong even though they were retiring at the end. Now that is a word that will finish. I love it. That is what will drive you. All right, so pick your word. May you live your purpose and let your purpose live through you. May you fuel up with positive energy. All right, may you together create one amazing college, and may you create the future. You know what? Your students are looking for heroes. And you know who are my heroes? People just like you who make an impact. Be the hero they need and help them become heroes in this world. God bless you guys, and thank you so much. Thank you. Come on. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
So if you might just sit for a second more, I know you're energized, and there is not only book signing where you can talk with Jon Gordon, but there will be lunch. Before, however, Jon leaves the stage, I wanted to invite Jon Gordon onto our energy bus as far as being part of the family of FSCJ. So with this, I want you to look into it, and I hope when I'm shopping in Publix, I see that on you. Okay, so you have to wear this because it says FSCJ.
Well, that's not right. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
All right. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed Jon Gordon's presentation as much as I did. There are so many similarities to not only his message and energy, but the work that we do each and every day. And think about the importance of us closing all of the college offices so that we could be together today, so that we could connect and we could celebrate who we are and why we are important. I hope you each and every one of you take a bit of energy, not only from Jon Gordon, but from each other. For those of you who are interested, I mentioned he's going to be in the cafeteria signing books following the conclusion of this program. I think many of you have already seen the exhibitors in our cafeteria, but if you haven't, I would encourage you. There are folks from Human Resources, the Artist Series, the Foundation, Florida Retirement System, Florida Blue, and many, many more. So thank you to everyone for your contributions. I want to not forget everyone to thank that made today possible, and there is a convocation committee in the back of your program. I hope you've seen their names, but I want to personally thank Dr. Erin Richmond for her leadership, Jill Johnson, Lisa Parker, Jill Bradbury, all of you, Beth Harvey, all of you who made this such a great morning. I am so excited about what we have to accomplish and what we will accomplish this year. We are here to ensure that our students receive an experience like none other. And it's because each and every one of us will make that happen. So if I might leave you with one final quote to inspire you to a great year, it's by someone that I respect deeply, Sonia Sotomayor. And she said at one point, when a young person, even a gifted one, grows up without proximate living examples of what she may aspire to become, whether it lawyer, scientist, artist, or leader in any realm, her goal remains abstract. Such models as appear in books or in the news, however inspired or revered, are ultimately too remote to be real, let alone be influential. But a role model in the flesh provides more than inspiration. His or her very existence is confirmation of possibilities one may have every reason to doubt. Yet, that person will say, yes, someone like me can do this. To each of us, let us be role models, indeed for our students, but let us be role models for each other. We need each other, and we are great for each other. With that, I wish us all the most phenomenal year ever. So thank you very much.